Guys, in this video, I will tell you and show you step by step how to install the system in the MetaTrader 4 platform. Grab a system. So, if you bought this system on the MQL4 website, you can skip the first part of the video, which is just a few minutes long. If you bought it on another site, then watch from the very beginning. However, advice for everyone, watch from the very beginning. It won't hurt to repeat. You will learn how to install indicators in the MetaTrader 4 platform. So to install MT4 indicators, you need to open the file menu. Here you will find the open data folder. Open it, and you will enter MQL4. And reach the root directory of the MetaTrader 4 platform. So, after purchasing the indicator, you received an archive from me. The archive, inside the archive, there is also an MQL4 folder. Look here, there's MQL4 in the root directory and I have MQL4 in the archive. And we simply drag this folder into the root directory, MetaTrader 4 on your PC. Copy it here. So it will just merge with this folder. After that, close these folders. Go. There's a button here called Navigator. Go up here, find the indicators. And refresh. That's it, we updated the indicators folder, and this grabber system appeared. Now I'll show you here, grabber system MT4. So now we go to select an asset. Here we have the market watch tab. Let's take for example, the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. Open this price chart. We see that here we have, there are quotes for this currency pair. By default, it opened on H1, which is the hourly chart. You can trade on M15 or on H1. I would recommend starting on H1 if you are a beginner, although in principle M15 will also work, especially if you are going to use my super utility for managing trades. Let's leave it on M15. Okay. No, we go to the Navigator folder, find grabber system. Drag it here onto the price chart and click the OK button. There it is. Installed on the price chart. In this way, you will need to open several assets. I will explain to you in a separate video which specific assets are best to choose for trading. For now, I'll just show you with one asset as an example, how to install and configure the indicator. And now we will go through all the main functions. MT4. Here is the grabber system indicator. So we open the indicator, grabber system. We go here to the next tab, input. And here we see not much, in principle. A large number of parameters. The most important is the first main one. For now, the parameter is the period. It is located at the bottom. The period of the FIBA indicator is the FIBA channel with either extensions or levels, which are calculated by the Fibonacci formula, mathematics. Then we also have history bars, which is the number of bars taken for analysis. We have it set to 500 here. I set it to 500 to avoid overloading. The RAM of your personal computer or server where the platform will be installed. If we extended this channel for several thousand more bars, then the platform would require significantly more RAM from the computer. So if you have weak RAM on your VPS, on your remote desktop, then this will be very detrimental. I made such a short indicator, but it is certainly enough to get a signal, because the signal will occur right here at the very beginning of this indicator. So if you set the period, let's say instead of 105 and 125, we set, for example, 200. Then we will have a smoother indicator. It's better to see this when there are history bars. Let's set it to 2500 here. Now it calculates this period over this number of bars. You see, it behaves completely differently. Let's take, for example, 1500 bars, 3000 bars. Here. It behaves this way because there is a large gap here, and it's simply an unloaded history on the platform itself. So let's say we set the number of bars to 1500 here, and the indicator period is currently set to 200. In this case, we will have fewer signals, but more potential for price movement, resulting in greater profitability. You see, in most cases, they touch the very tips of the candles, the outer boundaries, because if we set it here, for example, 220, let's say, yes, set it to 120, then we will have more signals and more touches. But these will be less accurate trades. You will have many losing closures. Even considering that the utility will try to close all trades in profit, there will be more losses. Although trading will be generally more profitable and even safer because we will use a greater number of signals across all currency pairs. There will be more diversification. But overall, you will choose the trading strategy that suits you best. If by default here we press reset to return all settings to default, we will have this kind of picture. And here, by the way, 125 and 500 bars of history. So let's go in order. 100 bars of history. So let's go in order. So here are the levels where we open trades, where trades are opened. For example, this is the level for buying 61.8. The FIBA level is located here. And upon reaching this level, a buy signal will appear. There will be an upward arrow. Regarding the quote history, we don't have saved arrows here. I removed them as well. Because we don't need history for display, we need the indicator to be super lightweight. When the quotes touch here, the lower boundary of the Fibonacci indicator, the Fibonacci channel, an upward arrow will appear, indicating, and you will receive a push notification that you need to trade for a buy. Similarly, there was a trade here for a buy, here was for a sell, and here was for a sell. And we close trades when the quotes touch this zero level. Here it is, the zero level of the Fibonacci channel. This is the level where the price returns. In any case, let's say we set it here to 1500 again. Bars, and you will see that throughout the entire available history, where we set 1500 bars, no matter where the price deviates, it still returns to the zero level. Here, for example, we had a buy signal and it returned to the zero level. Here was a buy signal and it returned to the zero level. And in this way, we always have a return to zero, but it's not always in a profitable area. For instance, if we were buying, that is selling here, and closing at the zero level, we would already have a level here. That is, we are trading for a sale here, but the closing level goes up and we close with a loss. And if we set a period, I'll show you clearly now so you understand what we're talking about. If we set a longer period, the indicator becomes smoother, and here we already have a level. In profitable closure, but here the line has changed so that we close this deal without profit, meaning we will need to close at the zero level, and now it is already higher. Therefore, I checked all these previous trends and found that the period should be around 120, so that most of these external signals, yes, when crossing the upper and lower boundaries, are in the added area. And the sensitivity, that is the width of this channel, this 61.8, here 50, here 36.2, we can adjust here. There are sliders, for example, if we set it to 23.5 here, then our level for purchases will be here. This is 23.5, this is 38.2, I believe, right? 38.2, this level. Then trades will occur here, for example, for buying. And we set the most extreme, here 61.8, this is the most extreme level. Thus, we can adjust the levels of the FIBO channel at the width of which we will enter the market. These levels, this is the zero level, here set for selling. Although, for example, if there is a sell trade, we can set the level at 50 and close the trade. For instance, there was a signal here somewhere for sell, and we could have closed it here at the 50% level. That is, you can change all these signal levels directly in your manual settings. And here we also have two more variables, which are push alert and mail alert. The indicator, when a signal for buying, selling, or closing a trade occurs, will send you push notifications to your mobile terminal or email. So let's move on. Regarding trading functions, we also have the display of limit orders here. I set 5 here, but you can set, for example, 3. And we set the distance between limit orders to 500. And I will make this value the default for everyone. Look, when you receive a trade, let's say, for example, this signal, when you have, for instance, this signal will be here. Now I will make it more visual so you can see the signal, for example. This is the market entry level. Or we can do it differently. I will place it here. Let's say this was the market entry level. We entered here, and the quotes continue to move down. So here we can add another trade. The indicator shows the levels at which we can place pending orders, or for example, a market order. If you enter, look, the quotes have reached this level. You can make another trade at this level. Then when the quotes return back to the 0 level, you will make a profit. That is, for comparison, if there was no limit order here, we make a trade here. The price goes down first, then returns, and we close the trade literally at break even with no profit. If we have a limit order here, the price touches this order, and we make a trade here, we gain profit from this order, and therefore we break even. In this way, the indicator shows us where to set levels in order to earn more. And by default, I will set 3 such levels, meaning we will have 3 limit levels, and the distance between them will be set at 50 points. 50. This is in a 4-digit expression, or 500 in a 5-digit expression of points between these levels. At these levels, you will need to place limit orders, but how this is done, I will explain. In the lesson, how to trade. Right now it's just how to set up. And I explain all the functions that the indicator has. Another function is, well, RSI, this grabber period, is the period of the RSI indicator, which is integrated into this indicator. Look, let's say we take the RSI indicator, we set it here, we have with a period of 6, I think, or 7, actually it was 7, I believe. There, this is the indicator. It is embedded inside this channel grabber. It's built in and not visible, but it is actually there. If it were on our price chart, we could verify and confirm trading signals through this indicator in a more reliable manner. For example, in practice, when we receive a trade signal to buy, it will only and exclusively be when the RSI is below the oversold level, and for a sell, only when the RSI is above the overbought level. In other words, this indicator filters the signals of the grabber indicator of this channel for us, but it does all of this automatically. We don't see the process, and the indicator itself simply checks when the price goes beyond the boundary. It also looks at the RSI indicator readings, and if, as I explained, the price line goes beyond the overbought or oversold levels, we receive a signal, or we don't if it doesn't go beyond. And the sensitivity of the RSI indicator, its period, is adjusted here. This is for buying and selling, and this is for closing trades. In other words, we have 2 conditions for closing, either upon touching the central line, which is the 0 level of the Fibo channel, or upon reaching the RSI. Now I will show you again, I'll put it back on. Upon reaching the opposite boundary of the RSI. In other words, our trade could have closed, for example, if we had entered the market here and we had a sell trade here, we would have closed it if there were no touches here. And if we need to close the trade somehow, the indicator, so as not to wait for some late touch, will give a signal that we have touched the opposite boundary, meaning we have reached the opposite. Signal value, which would be here, we touched the oversold boundary. That is with we sold at overbought and closed at oversold. And let's imagine there was no touch here, meaning we close based on the reverse RSI signal. And these RSI levels, their sensitivity and periods are adjusted here. So 500 is the range between these limit orders, and 3 is the number of these limit orders. In principle, that's all for the manual settings here. Everything else is hidden from view. You can't adjust it, and you don't really need to, because these adjustments are more delicate and you wouldn't be able to handle them. And for quick adjustments, you have all the available functions here. In the next lesson, I will explain how to trade using the grabber indicator and also show how to use the utility. See you soon. In the next lesson, I will explain how to trade using the grabber indicator and also show how to use the utility.